Hello, friends. I'm super excited to talk to you today. I had the coolest experience recently when I've been asked several times to speak to different groups and programs all about intuition and tapping into your intuition. And I'm taking that as like the biggest sign ever that people want to learn more about this and how they can use it in their lives. So I'm going to take this opportunity and really just kind of pour my heart into what it is I see when people aren't able to connect to their intuition and some things they can do to be able to reconnect. So let's get started. Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey Barr and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No, this is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this. You are worth it. And you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in. So when we think about our intuition, the way that I want you to look at this is your connection to the divine, your higher self, and your spirituality. Because they've all been described as your intuition before, and it is just a great way to kind of see where you're at. So just choose whichever one of those mostly fits the way that you think and your belief system, and this episode will be super useful to you. So every day we have things going on in our intuition that help us to be able to make decisions. Even at a subconscious level, our intuition helps us without even us really recognizing it for what it is. Okay, so I really want you to think about it that way. But when we look at the subconscious mind, there are several thoughts or limiting beliefs that may be clouding this intuition. And so when people feel like they can't quite connect, they can't quite make decisions, especially when they're bigger decisions, it feels very cloudy. They're not getting a yes or a no. I cover a lot of this in Deep Healing for the Creative Soul in the second module, just because it is so important to learn to connect to your own intuition. We have to be able to trust ourselves, and that's something that gets so cloudy and so, what's the word I'm looking for? Misunderstood as we turn into adults and as we try to navigate life. We are always looking for other people's opinions and what someone else thinks about this, or even if we're not looking for it, we get it anyway. That's probably because we do not have a firm foundation in our intuition. And so these beliefs that we took with us from childhood, maybe you say, Mom, I kind of get a bad feeling from that guy. I don't really like him. Well, you're supposed to like everybody, right? You know what I mean? Good or bad, those things come up. It's not about blame. It's just about the way that we were raised, the way that our society is. And let's be honest, it's not that safe in a lot of ways. And so as children, we were super protected, but we were also asked to not pay attention to certain things that didn't make sense, maybe in the eyes of someone else. And so we took those with us, right? That's where we learned what our belief system should be, was before our 20s, right? So a lot of that we took with us, and a lot of that is now, as adults, keeping us from progressing and having that deep connection, even though as a child, it was probably very safe and it was probably good for us to have at that time. So part of our process and our journey here now is to be able to dive into that and say, what of this can I take with me? What is going to help me grow? And what is actually just holding me back? And I think that is so important to question. And I love that more and more people are asking me about this, because I have created a place where I get to use my intuition all the time. And I've learned to be able to let my daughter use hers and let my husband use his without judgment. And so that's just a beautiful place to be in. And I'm just super grateful that I get this opportunity to talk to people about this in particular. Now, some questions or concerns that may come up with this would be around like, what were we taught when we felt a gut feeling? And so a lot of us were taught that we need to just brush that aside. We needed to not pay attention to it. We needed to let it go and move on to something else. So some programs that I might pick up on for people with this would be thoughts around, just be quiet. My opinion doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to that. You could be wrong, right? You might be feeling something, but you could be wrong. Because that's usually what people will say as adults. They'll say, well, I might be wrong, but I think my boss is a creep, right? Just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, that is something we hear a lot. And we hear a lot from people like, I have no idea. He just gives me the heebie-jeebies, or, I have bad vibes about going on this trip. It doesn't feel right. And the more we push that aside, we feel like we're being safe, and in reality, we're really closing ourselves off. So what are some things that you can do on your own to help you kind of dive into this? I do this really cool exercise with my students around listening to what your body is saying for you to do. And it goes from just starting with the smallest questions, right? If you start with something huge, you're going to be sitting here all day, okay? But maybe start with something small, like, should I eat this ham and cheese sandwich for lunch? Maybe it's a no, who knows? But just start listening to that and see what happens. When I taught the kids at school for the Great American Teach-In, I taught them how to muscle test with food. They thought I was like a magician, okay? They thought like I learned this magic trick. One of them told me that they went home and told their mom that they muscle tested a positive yes for ice cream. And I just started laughing. I'm like, I love kids, but like learning to listen. Like, who would have ever thought that your body might send you a little signal when it wants you to eat a certain food, or maybe when you're deficient on something that's in your banana or whatever it may be. Like, your body is trying to talk to you and it's trying to give you signals. And the reason why is because it's there to help us. Like, we're not alone. We have our intuition, we have our connection to the divine, and it's inside of us. But it's not just choosing to listen to it, it's clearing out those thoughts so that we can listen to it. Okay, so I really want you guys to think long and hard about this. What is going on in my life currently that I can receive guidance for, but I haven't been listening to because I feel kind of cloudy in that area? Now, I did the other day for the 777 portal, which was a fun thing on my Facebook page. I remembered that one of my good friends did a video about the scribbling technique. And I don't use it that often, to be honest with you, because I do very specific subconscious work on my own, but not everybody has access to that. So I encourage you, and I'll put the link in the show notes to my friend Allie's scribbling technique, but you can put on the top of that paper, let's say you've been thinking about switching careers, or you've been thinking about kind of going in a different direction with your current business. Maybe you want to teach more instead of just doing the work, right? Maybe there's something there that you're like, it's kind of on my mind, but I can't quite get an answer on. So write down on the top of the paper, just write, my future business, or teaching, whatever it may be. Like, for me, it would probably be healing people, right? Teaching deep healing for the creative soul, and put it on the top of the paper. And then you just start scribbling, like with a crayon is the best. Don't use a pen. It'll just go through the paper, but start scribbling around on the paper and just let your mind wander. Like, you could be watching TV. You can be having a conversation, though the other person might think that you're a bit odd, but just scribble around until you start going in a circle. Some people say it's an oval, but mine always looks like a circle. And when you start going in that circle and you tell your brain, okay, go outside the circle, and you're still scribbling a perfect circle over and over and over and over again, that's how you know you've cleared it. So this is just something simple you can do at home, maybe with something that's been weighing on you. If you can, like I said, get a little more clarity, pull some of those programs out of the way so that you can tap into your intuition, then you're going to find that you have more answers than you're giving yourself credit for. You're worthy of answers. You are designed to receive answers. That is our spiritual right as humans here on earth, is to have that connection. And so if it's not there or it's cloudy, there's absolutely things you can do on your own to help see you through that and to get more clarity in your life. And I'm leaving this open-ended on purpose. I want you guys to think about anything that has been weighing on you and see how we can get that to shift, so that you can accept answers into your lives, because they're probably coming in and you're not listening to them, not because you don't want to, but because you don't understand what it feels like when those answers do come in. And that is, as sad as it sounds, that is normal. That's kind of what we're all trying to relearn, is to be able to connect to that. So that's all I wanted to say about intuition. If you have something bigger going on, if maybe you need more help than what the scribbling can do, or journaling, absolutely reach out to me. I have the program Deep Healing for the Creative Soul. We just started another round, but honestly, you can join at any time. And we currently have the first 2 modules are specifically on clearing out those programs so you can tap into your intuition and learning what it feels like when your body's saying yes and no, and just different things like that that will help you on that path to connecting more to yourself. So I hope this inspires you, and I absolutely love being able to chat with you guys about all of this. I love the feedback I'm getting from you. I am on vacation. I am in the mountains somewhere when this is released, but I absolutely love the feedback, and I will respond to you if you email me within the next few days. Let's say that. So I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I hope that you do something that feeds your soul and something that will help you to unlock what your intuition is trying to tell you, so that you can live a more fulfilled and purposeful life. That is what I want for you. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on, because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.